this is pretty cool. This is the actual Stanley Cup, which goes back years and years. And
first of all, Jeff, I think you're a little starstruck. You're having trouble.
I
with
am.
your words.
I'm telling you. It just hit me when I started looking at it and looked at the championships on here.
Yeah, I mean, this is 116 years old, and obviously being on radio here, people in Pittsburgh, I mean, there's 5 major rings in the Stanley Cup. It curls in and goes into a neck, kind of a cylinder-like, and then into the bowl. You can find every team on the Stanley Cup dating back to 1893, first won by the Montreal Amateur Athletic Association, and all the way up to the present day of the Anaheim Ducks of 2007. And right over here to the right is where this year's winning team will go. They'll be on there for 62 years before the ring is retired. As we retire rings, this top ring is going to come off the Stanley Cup in 10 years, be put in the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto, and we'll put a new ring on the bottom. So eventually your name does get retired off. There's 2,138 names currently on the Stanley Cup. We'll have up to maximum 52 names added on this year. The teams that are on there the most are the Montreal Canadiens with 24, followed by the Toronto Maple Leafs 11 and Detroit Red Wings 10. Player that's on there the most is Henri Richard, 11 times. Jean Beliveau is on there 17 times. Your Pittsburgh Penguins, of course, went back-to-back, 91-92, and then it also happened in 97-98. Detroit Red Wings. Kind of neat how we got both those teams in the Stanley Cup Finals right now.
This is the Holy Grail. I mean, personally, let me ask you, what is this like to be in charge of something with this much tradition?
Well, Jeff, this is my 9th year doing it, and I got to tell you, there isn't a day that goes by that this doesn't get old. The travel wears you down, airports and that kind of thing, but to be around this thing every day, it's still a very special moment. It still feels like the very first day, right now, like when I pulled it out of the box here in your room, than it did the very first day I got to pull it out of its case back in 99, 2000. And it's hard to put into words. I've had more adventures. I mean, I ride this thing's coattails. I'm nothing without the Stanley Cup, and I get to live its adventures and be the human element of it. And it's incredible. I mean, it's been all over the world. It's been as far as Japan, Russia, Sweden, Finland, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Ukraine, Belarus, Switzerland, Germany. I'm speaking fast. It's a lot of countries. England, coast to coast in Canada, coast to coast in the United States. I've been in every state except for Hawaii with it. It's an amazing life this thing leads.
And I guess what separates this is that you can take it with you. The players have a day, the staff has a day to take it with them. How did that tradition start, and how long has that been going on?
It kind of evolved. If you ask guys back in the 70s, 60s, and 50s, they didn't actually get any time with it. And it kind of evolved through the 80s and early 90s. As you know, probably in 91 and 92, it was probably in a lot of different areas in Pittsburgh and stuff like that. The very famous story of Phil Bourque putting it in the bottom of Mary Lemieux's pool. As I tell Phil, this is thank you for my job, because guys like that, and again, no disrespect, and Phil, I don't think wanted to put disrespect. It was just one of those things, he was having a good time and didn't think it was going to hurt it. And my job is to make sure these guys keep it safe and respectful, and also help it get around to A to B. And that's a great story. I mean, there's a book called "Why Is the Stanley Cup in the Bottom of Mary Lemieux's Pool?" But my job is to keep it out of the swimming pool. So.
And that's the thing with hockey players, because they play hard, but they also like to party hard. So when they get their day, I imagine they like to have some fun.
A lot of people call hockey a very blue-collar sport. I guess when they work hard, they play hard, and I can respect and understand that, because I do the same thing. And but the guys are great. I mean, this is my 9th year, and I've never really had any problems. You explain to the guy, and they understand the history and the tradition behind this thing, and they want to go out and win it again and again, and they don't want to hurt it, I guess. So. If you explain something to a guy, you don't want everybody lifting it and moving it around, because they're really the only ones that have earned the right to hoist it. And so guys are pretty respectful.